Hello, and welcome to this podcast about living in Greece as a foreigner. Here I'm just gonna tell some fun stories about what I experienced here in Greece. I've lived here for 3 years and I really love it here. It's been a challenge and a really wild ride, but it's filled with great experiences. So I just want to open up with one of the things I think is the most important about Greece, and that is the fantastic climate. So we're in the beginning of March now, and it's basically kind of summer here already. It's really, really fantastic. The sun is out almost every day. It's blue sky. It's really, around 15 to 20 degrees, depending on the time of day, maybe even warmer than that. It's fantastic. The almond trees are blooming and the birds are singing, and people have started up their barbecues, and it's really, really great here now. So today I'm going to talk about a little experience I had the other day and that is really typical for Greece, I think. I mean, I can't really say for sure, but it's something that makes me smile and make me think about how different Greece is from, for example, Northern Europe. So the story is about me taking a cab ride, and it's a pretty basic, but I think it was kind of funny. So let me get into it. So the other day I had to go to the courthouse in Greece, in the city I live. It's a big city up north called Thessaloniki. And first of all, I simply could not explain to the taxi drivers. I think I hauled 3 or 4 drivers before I found somebody who could understand what I was saying. And I know I'm not a native English speaker, but I think I'm pretty good. At least I could say courthouse, right? And I think I pronounced that pretty correctly. But nobody understood what I was saying, and I couldn't explain it in any other way at the point because I was stressed out and I had to hurry, So, and I didn't really know which direction they had to take because I didn't know where I was, and So in the end, I got a cab driver who was really super friendly, and he just wanted to talk, and he took his time and talked with me, and finally found it on the Google Maps, and then he was like, oh, and he said also the courthouse, but he said it in the Greek kind of English accent, which sounded completely different. I can't imitate it here, but then I understood that, oh, okay, so courthouse is not something that, it doesn't come out in the way that Greeks are used to hearing English. So my pronunciation was just way different than theirs, and that's why I couldn't explain myself. Well, so this super friendly taxi driver who finally understood where I was going, he was, just chatting away and asking where I was from and why I was here. He couldn't understand. And that's really something I meet with a lot of Greek people. When you say you come from Northern Europe, they're like, what? Why are you here? There must be something wrong with you because nobody wants to live here. People are fleeing this country. And I think a lot of young people that has the possibility, they really do flee the country. And that mainly because the job situation here is not so good. And I'll get into that a little bit later in another episode maybe. So that's a general reaction I get when I say that I moved here. People simply don't understand why anybody wants to move to Greece. And I think it also has to do with the fact that many people from Greece has maybe heard that it's very, very nice to live in Northern Europe, but they never really experienced the weather. And the prices, and there's a lot of good things in Northern Europe, but there's also a lot of bad things. And I think if you're listening to this podcast, maybe you know what I'm talking about. Well, then we started driving, and driving in the big cities in Greece is a kind of a challenge. But taxi drivers, they're of course used to it. You can't really tell if you're in which lane you are, because most of the paintings that kind of outline the lanes, they're long gone. I mean, they don't draw out the when the painting on the road disappears, it gets worn out. They don't draw it back. So many of the roads, if not most of the roads, you can't tell which lane you're in. So everybody's just driving, in the middle of everything and kind of going in and out between each other. And that's typical. And I think now at this point I can even drive like that. But in the beginning, it was terrible in the beginning, because when you come from Northern Europe, you're really used to everything's being in order and people do what they're supposed to do and things like that. Down here is the opposite. Nobody does what they're supposed to do, and everybody is just riding the chaotic drive, which is really, really fun and cool. But I mean, it comes with a couple of bumps, literally. Well, so this taxi driver, all of a sudden he gets a call. And he takes his phone and he speaks to somebody. I couldn't understand what they were saying. And he says, he hangs up and he says to me, "Well, I just have to pick somebody up." And I was like, "What? You're the taxi driver and you're taking me to this place." But at this point, I don't argue with people here. I mean, I'm a foreigner here, and if there's something that I don't like, I don't really go around saying it that much, because a lot of the times it's just the culture is different, and since I'm here as kind of a guest, I don't want to enforce my way of living, or the way of living that I have been used to on this culture. That's not gonna work out. So I'm just like, okay, well, whatever. You're picking somebody up, and I didn't really know if that was some information that I should take in. Was he gonna pick somebody up while he was driving me, or what? So he stops over, and I have no idea if we took a longer route but at some point he stops, and then there's a man and a woman outside the taxi, and he starts talking to them, and they talk for quite a while the meter is going, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I just have to put up with this. I was in a hurry, but you can't be in a hurry in Greece. It's not gonna work out. Like you hear in some, I think it's called Latin American countries, people go mañana, which means tomorrow, right? I think so. And here they go avrio, which also means tomorrow. And that's kind of the spirit here, especially in Thessaloniki. Everything is avrio, tomorrow, relax, halara. And this woman just gets in the cab, and they still talk, and he kind of seems like he's forgotten about me. And well, then we start driving again, and he goes, "Well, by the way, it's a lot easier for me if I can just drop you off right here." And we're not even at the courthouse yet. And I was like, "Well, where's the courthouse?" And he points, and it's over there. And I mean, of course, I didn't really know what I was looking for, so I expected him to go right in front of the main entrance and then drop me off. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, I guess I can walk the last little distance, right?" So I pay the guy and I get out of the taxi, and he just takes off with this woman. So that's just I mean, I wouldn't say that that's typical for the taxi drivers, but I think that kind of mentality is not uncommon here in Greece. And I have no idea. I mean, I paid for her ride basically, but it's not like, I mean, what should I do? Should I have, started an argument and demanded that she paid some of it, or it doesn't work like that. So that's what I want to talk about today, is just like that sort of experience where you kind of, if you want to live here, you kind of have to let go a little bit, don't try to control the situation. Just accept that things are different here and people really struggle. The salaries here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that in this episode as well. The salaries here are very, very low compared to other countries, especially in Northern Europe. And that also kind of creates this kind of, I wouldn't say nihilistic, or I don't know if that's the right pronunciation of the word, but kind of nothing really matters, and don't take things too serious, and and I guess that's also why young people are moving out of Greece. They call it the brain drain, that educated people from Greece, they move out and then they get a job in countries outside of Greece, and I can understand that totally. But there is some really, really great things in Greece, and I want to get into them in future podcasts, and how you can make a living here. That's really a fantastic type of life. So thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please share it and leave comments and hit like buttons and subscribe, and I hope you'll come back and listen again in my next podcast.